Hi, everybody. Hope you've been doing well. It's hasn't been too long. I don't know where you guys are at, so I'm just gonna say good morning, good evening, good afternoon, cover all the bases, and I'm gonna jump right in. So basically, like Josh said, we're here to talk federal funding. If you're not familiar with how it works, I'm gonna give you a quick rundown. So first off, the most important thing to know is the United States government has $142 billion this year set aside for R&D. Now, for private industry, there's about 40 to 60 billion dollars. Specifically, the rest is divvied up between universities and interagency R&D, as well as some other opportunities that they have as well. Now, the main draw for government funding is it's non-dilutive, whereas with VCs and angel investors, you're giving up equity, they come with board members, you may be losing some IP rights. That's not how the government works. Theirs is non-dilutive, so you're not giving up any equity. There's no interference. They don't have any say, and you're going to maintain all the rights that you have to your product and your IP. The major draw, besides the free funding from the government, is there was a Milken Institute study done in 2012 that showed for every dollar given by the public to an R&D project, companies were able to turn that around and leverage it for up to 8 times, and sometimes even more in terms of private sector investments as well. And having gained and actually secured U.S. government funding is seen as a stamp of approval. It's seen as if the U.S. government has vetted you well enough to know that, we believe in you, we trust you to give you money. It's only paid dividends. I know we've worked with companies in the past that the monies they've been awarded hasn't been the point. They've been looking for the ability to put on the specific agency, whichever one they won, on their website and go, you know what, this government agency trusts us enough. So it's just a great way to leverage on your own in the private sector down the line. These are some of the industries, I should say, that you'll find most often for government solicitations. It's not just DoD, it's National Science Foundation, it's NASA, it's Department of Transportation, NOAA, the National, it's all over the place, Department of Homeland Security. So it's not just, the DoD. And even though this list is a lot, it's not everything. There are a lot of other opportunities that aren't listed on these 2 slides. Now you might be thinking, okay, fine, U.S. government funding, it's money, but it's probably nothing I've ever heard of. No companies I've ever seen have come out of it. It's just not the case. I don't know about you guys. A couple of years ago, I took a 23andMe test. I was curious to know where I've come from. And it's only recently that I've learned that it was because of the US government that I was able to do that. I was able to find out where, that with that DNA testing, figure out who I am and where I hail from. And it's not just them, as you see, iRobot, Semantics, Qualcomm, it's diverse. Now, you might think, okay, cool, maybe those are some niche technologies. Again, not the case. I would literally not be talking to you here if it wasn't for one of the big ones. The internet was a result of US government funding, as well as GPS and Siri. So it's things you use in your daily life. It's not just highly specialized tools. So there's 2 main reasons why the government funds. First and foremost, they've identified there's an issue, and they know that dealing with the public sector, it's going to take a long time. So they'd rather turn to private organizations, private entities, see what they can do, see if they can come about it faster. So they post a problem they're having, they solicit proposals, see whoever's got the best opportunities, the best offerings, and those that they do make an investment in, they keep track, they keep tabs, because when you do deliver to market, they want to be the first in line to be able to be one of your customers. They want to be an early adopter and really use the tech that you've presented to help them fill that original need they had. Now, the second reason is it's seed money. I can tell you all the great altruistic reasons, job creation, pump the market up, but ultimately it comes down to taxes. They've discovered and they've realized for every dollar they put in, the ROI is $2.30 in terms of taxes. The bigger they can make you, the better they can help you along, the more they'll see down the line. So that's really their main draw. Now there's 2 main avenues. There's SBIRs and BAAs. SBIRs, they're small business innovation research. There's a more diverse, there's a larger amount of these available, but these are highly specialized and highly focused research grants. It comes in phase funding, whereas the BAAs, as we'll talk about, come in continuous. This generally starts with a phase one, a proof of concept, to a phase two where there's a prototype, and then for certain applications, certain opportunities, they'll even help you with a phase three or get you that last mile across to commercialization. The most important thing you need to know about the SBIR, however, is there are some criteria you have to fulfill. First and foremost, you have to be under 500 employees. R&D has to be done in the United States, and ownership has to be by individuals who are either U.S. residents, green card holders, or U.S. citizens. So those three criteria have to be fulfilled for you to be eligible for an SBIR. Now, even though SBIRs are the large majority of the opportunities out there, when it comes to awards, they're by no means the leader. As you can see, they only account for 3.2%. The other 96% are broad agency announcements. These broad agency announcements, they're continuous funding. They are set up with the milestones that you set in your proposals. And as long as you hit them, they'll keep giving you that money. There's no award ceiling. We have had clients that have won upwards of $60 million in awards because they had the right products at the right time, and the government saw it and took advantage of it. And unlike SBIRs, as I said, these are broad. They don't really know what they need. They have an idea. They have kind of an area they would like to focus on, but it's really up to the companies and the grant writers to come towards them and say, this is what we have. This is how we think it can help. And this funding, so all right, I've won a couple $100,000 from the U.S. government. What can I use it for? So it's specifically for your R&D. Anything to do with R&D, you can put it towards salaries, subcontractors, materials, anything, but it's got to be R&D based. And the nice thing is that actually, depending on the grant, you're allowed to record up to 7% of it as profits on your books. So as I alluded to before, the government wants to be one of your first early adopters. As we can see here, some of the agencies, we have AFWERX, which is an Air Force project, I should say, an agency. The Army Applications Laboratory is another agency that has a BAA out there. X-Tech is another Army one, Department of Homeland Security. But these agencies are looking to really become one of those early adopters of your tech down the line. I'm just going to cover one of them, the AFWERX open topic. This is an open call. They don't know what their need is. The first phase, you see it's a $50,000 award, but it's because that's for feasibility study. Your job with that money is to go ahead and secure an MOU from an Air Force stakeholder, someone in the Air Force you've identified who has an issue and is looking to move forward. They want to work with you guys on the pilot. Once you find that, you're able to go for phase two, which is the actual pilot program, where the government will give, AFWERX will give you for this open topic, $750,000. And if the stakeholder from the Air Force believes in you enough, they're also able to contribute from their budget up to a matching amount, so up to a total of $1.5 million. Now, this one is actually opening up soon. They run 3 times a year when the DoD releases all their other topics. The pre-release, when we're going to get an idea of what they're kind of looking to get, the areas they would like to focus on, is going to be April 21st, but this one's only open up for 30 days. It opens May, it ends in June. This is something you need to jump on to secure their funding. And we've seen a lot of success with this opportunity. And just another way to show you how they work. Like I said, phase one is a feasibility study to secure a stakeholder. Phase two is for that trial. Phase three is they want to be one of your early adopters. So some of our winners, obviously we've signed NDAs, so we can't give you names, but this is what some of our track record has been. And this is by no means the entire list. You can see we have multiple phase ones, multiple phase twos. And the real point of this is to show you it's not just one type of technology. We're not only focusing on AI, we're not only focusing on drones. These grants can be awarded from any type of product, really. As long as your innovation meets the government's needs, they'll give you the money if they think you are the right solution. So, all right, all sounds great, but how do I win? Most importantly, is your tech has to be innovative. They're not looking for incremental adjustments. They're not looking for minor, small steps. They're looking for leaps and bounds. Those things that are really going to push technology in the United States technology sector to the forefront. Number two is they want a strong R&D team. They want to know that you have the chops to really bring this product to market. They want to know that you can deliver on what you're saying you can, because ultimately they're investing in you. They want to know that their investment's going to work out positively. And thirdly, they want to know it's commercially viable, because as I said before, they're all about the taxes. They want you to go to market. They want you to become the next Tesla, the next Amazon, and just reap all the rewards of those taxes. So why us? Why Eagle Point Funding? First and foremost, we know the system. Our grant writers, they live, breathe, and eat the solicitations out there. I mean, some of these opportunities, they can run 300, 400, 500 pages long, in depth, very minute details and way of formatting. That's why we have our grant writers. It's what they do. And the way we work is we only work with a company if we are able to secure and submit at least 5 opportunities, because we believe in a multi-submission approach. On average, a regular single submission only has about an 8 to 12% success rate if you go it alone. With us, it's about 2 or 3 times that, depending on the submission. And we want to give you the best odds of winning. And the way we do that, and to help do that, is we really write a story about your tech. Instead of it being just a dry technical document, we tell them who you are, what you mean to do, and really why you're the next step, why you're the people who are going to change the world. I know it sounds grandiose, but it is what the United States government is looking for. They're looking for those next big players. A little bit about us. We're part of the FreeMind group. We focus on non-dilutive R&D funding outside of life sciences. Our sister company, FreeMind, focuses on life sciences solely. We have our Gendome, which does EU funding, and the deep tech. Obviously, you guys know what that is. But overall, across all the agencies we've won, or all the different companies, we've won over $1.5 billion in awards, and it's what we do. So what's there to expect if you want to work with us? So within 24 hours of signing a contract, 24 to 72 hours, I should say, I would get on a call with you, our manager of consulting services, whoever on your technical team would like to be there as well. And we're going to take a deep dive, a very deep dive into your product and to your technology to really fully understand what is there, what is driving who you guys are. And there's some significant time involved in the beginning. And I do want to be upfront about that, because we want to properly understand what you're doing. If we aren't able to really, if you're not able to give us that time in the beginning, it's not going to result in good, in well-written grants. Not on our end, it's just we need that help with the technology and really understanding what we need to do for the future. So with the first submission, generally takes 40 to 60 hours. It can take longer depending on the submission. That's the average of what we've seen. And then with every subsequent submission, the number drops pretty drastically, to the point where by 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, if there is 8th, 9th, however many there is, it's 10 hours or less per submission, where we've basically understood everything and we're just having you guys review it, make sure it sounds like something you want to do. But like I said, we only work with you if there's a minimum of 5 submissions that we can apply for over a 9-month-long engagement period. So as you can probably see on this slide, there's a QR code. Feel free to schedule a call with me. I'm available the next couple of weeks to talk, see if we can help you guys secure government funding. But I know the question that's on all your minds. It's, what's this going to cost me? So it's a pretty standard business model. We do not deviate from it. It's going to be 2 payments of $23,000 spread over the first 5 months of engagement. First payment at signing, second at the 5 months, with a 5% success fee awarded for every grant that you guys do receive. And that's basically it. So if you are interested, please do book a call with me. I'd love to talk to you, see what opportunities we can find you. Josh?